How many words do you need to learn to speak Spanish fluently? Is it 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 words? Or does it not even matter? I know that this topic is discussed a lot in the language learning community. And in my opinion, I do not think that you need to learn a specific amount of words to speak Spanish fluently. This is what I call a Spanish fluency myth. What is so wrong with learning words in Spanish? Well, actually, I have nothing against learning more words in Spanish at all. I think it's incredibly important no matter what level that you currently have, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner. I wouldn't recommend that you just make a whole bunch of flashcards, whether physical or digital, like on Anki, or you make just a long list of words in a notebook, and you just study those for the next 5 months or to a year. Porque a la hora de hablar, no puedes comunicarte bien. Just because you may know a lot of definitions of words in Spanish, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be automatically speaking Spanish fluently and using all these words correctly. I realized this the hard way after I had my last Spanish class in college. I learned as many words as possible in Spanish in college and then right after college as well, but I really did not know how to speak Spanish, and definitely not fluently. Ok, ahora mismo estoy en mi cocina. So right now I'm in my kitchen y te voy a poner un ejemplo. So let's say that I just rattle off as many words as possible that I know that are related to kitchen vocabulary. So, ok, yo tengo un microondas, una tostadora, yo tengo botellas de agua, yo tengo un lavaplatos, yo tengo platos, cuchillos, tenedores, y qué más. I have un refrigerador, yo tengo un congelador, una estufa, yo tengo gabinetes or gabinetes, se me olvidó la palabra, I kind of forgot how to pronounce this word. What else do I have? All right, I also have nueces, I have harina, I have azúcar, I have caldo de pollo, I have servilletas, I have pan, I have té. Now, I do know a decent amount of words in Spanish that are all about the kitchen. But now let's say that I go up to a Spanish speaker right now and then I just start saying all of those words. It wouldn't make much sense, right? When I think of speaking Spanish and fluency, what comes to my head is being able to communicate an idea, being able to tell a story, being able to express myself in Spanish, and just being able to rattle off many words does not really allow me to do those things. In this case, I need a lot more than just nouns to be able to do these things. I need to have adjectives. I need to have verbs. I also need to be able to understand a little bit of Spanish grammar as well. I need to know how to actually be able to piece all of these words together to create a sentence, and that is a whole task in itself. So when it comes to speaking Spanish and when it comes to speaking Spanish fluently, it has a lot to do with developing the skill to speak and not just having a lot of knowledge in your head. Cada mañana me levanto a las 6 a.m. y yo entro la cocina en donde estoy en este momento y después yo abro no es la puerta, pero mi refrigerador en general y yo saco un poco de jugo, huevos para mi desayuno. Mi estilo de huevo preferido para preparar en las mañanas se llama huevos revueltos. Y todavía me cuesta pronunciar esta palabra, pero me encanta preparar los huevos así por la razón por la cual es más rápido para preparar porque no toma mucho tiempo. Solamente toma como que 5 o menos que 5 minutos para preparar en total. Entonces es más fácil para tomar un poco de jugo o agua y comer un poco de mis huevos revueltos y salir para mi trabajo. Entonces, eso es el punto. So when I got out of college, I had a lot of words memorized, but I really had no idea how to do what I just did there. And that's because I did not understand that you have to practice speaking Spanish, that you actually have to know how to create a sentence, but when you are speaking as well, and not just on paper, because these two different things are really hard to connect. Everything that is in your mind, and then when you're actually speaking, it's really difficult for me to explain, but you know exactly what I mean. Just because you have a lot of words in your head does not mean that you can just start automatically speaking. So for the past few years, I've been learning a lot about how to develop my speaking skills, because it's not just about knowing the definition of a word, but it's also about creating sentences together, but then also how to pronounce the words correctly, right? And that is just when I'm speaking to myself. But when it actually comes to speaking with a Spanish speaker in person or on the phone or something like that, then there's even more things involved when it comes to me speaking Spanish. I have to listen to that other person, and I have to actually think about what I need to say and then actually say it. So speaking Spanish fluently is a lot more complex than I ever could have imagined when I first started my journey learning Spanish. Now, if your main goal is just to learn a specific amount of words, I think all those things go out the window, and that for me is not how you are going to be able to actually develop your speaking skills and become a fluent Spanish speaker. Developing all these skills have helped me tremendously with having better conversations in Spanish. Now, if you would like to have better conversations in Spanish as well, head to the link in the description box of this video, because I have a free Spanish conversation blueprint created just for you. And all you have to do is subscribe to my email list, and you will receive that in your email. If you want to hear me speak Spanish more, watch this next video.